Oh, well, hello. Time for my answers to the 107 subs questions video. I decided to make it more entertaining. I'd have strawberry daiquiris. I've been drinking for a little bit. I love the little frozen bucket. It's so nice, and then you add some of this. And then it's handy. And yes, this picture is unusual shape. Is actually a old medical urinal. So if I choose not to get out of bed tonight to use it, since I've been drinking a little bit, it was about to here when I started, and I actually made it pretty strong, because I wanted there to be a good video. All right. Riverstone 1 with 2 R's at the beginning asked, why does a man use a big, loud, scary thing that could probably break everything in the bathroom rather than using a $1 plunger? Because when my son drops a load, it's a cannonball. And this cannonball will not break loose from anything. A $1 plunger or any other plunger won't. You need a nuclear device, or that auger I was using. And then let's see. Man, lion, man. What took you so long for starting to be skeptic? Why were you not skeptic about your silly beliefs and magical thinking much sooner? I assume you were cleaning your toilet bowl in the beginning of your video. Why do you clean it so thoroughly? All right. Well, yeah, it's not that I was cleaning it. I was just trying to get rid of that cannonball. All right. But why did it take me so long till I was like 45 years old? Well, here in the wonderful America, Christians kind of live in a bubble. I graduated high school in 1976. And back then, when I was in my science class, I remember the first day of science class, the teacher said, "All right now, someone's going to ask me when I'm going to teach evolution. I'm not going to teach evolution because evolution breaks the second law of thermodynamics. And the 3 laws of thermodynamics are followed by every science, well, whatever. It's the basis of science. And so evolution, that's the last you'll hear of evolution. So as a Bible-believing Christian in a public school, when I heard that, that was like, wow, I don't have to even check into that evolution stuff because my secular teacher doesn't believe in it either. And we live in a bubble. You know, you go to church on Sunday morning, you're an usher. You go to church on Wednesday night. And sometimes you go to church on Sunday night. You know, if you've got a bunch of kids or whatever, you're getting ready for the school week, and that kind of interferes with your time. So you've got, just think of the free time you've got. And if you had to monopolize parts of 2 days a week with church, and of course everything you hear that just reinforces, is just constantly reinforcing. And when you hear of a situation, or oh, it's just that person is messed up, you know, not that it has anything to do with Christianity or anything like that. So it is kind of just a cycle of constantly being reinforced by Christianity. And luckily this internet thing, is just, the young people aren't falling for it anymore. Sort of like the diminished loyalty to sports, because there are so many different avenues of entertainment. You don't need to, just be worshiping the local sports team. So yeah, there was just such a constant reinforcement of your beliefs and stuff that the religious people, just maintain to keep you in there. And then Gogster. Now, thanks for the shout out. You put me over the 100-person mark. I think I went over the 100-person mark before the YouTube great elimination of dead channels or whatever. But whatever. And you said What is with the rest of your family? Why are they still in religion? Okay, well, let's see. My oldest sister, Faith, she's in Winnipeg, Canada, and she's not in religion at all. Ever since my highly religious father kind of liked her too much, you know, she hasn't been into religion at all. And then my older brother David, let's see, he's still into religion. I'm sure it's mainly because of the bubble, but I've been creating a lot of ripples in the whole religion field, and so I really haven't been invited to really a lot of family events because I'm gone wild. So yeah, he's married and he's got a wife that has enjoyed using family events to just air her grievances all the time and stuff, and so that's created some ripples in the family dynamics where I've had a lot of, since I've got 4 kids. So my sister Faith's got 2 kids, I've got 4 kids. They're in Winnipeg, but my 4 kids are close, and so whenever she's had any little gripes about my kids, she's made sure to air them at family events, which has created some ripples there. But back to the thing about religion. Yeah, so David's still in religion. Then there's me. I broke free. Then there's my brother Conrad. He's just younger than me, and yeah, he's not into religion at all. Then there's my sister Gloria. Yeah, she's stuck in religion. And the thing that hurt me the most was during this whole marriage amendment debate. She was like, well, I know how you believe. I'm not going to share with you how I believe. And that's the end of the discussion. And I did mention to her that in my experience, people that are secure in their belief system, they are happy to share it. Ooh, I'm going to have to drink right out of the... You know, you gotta drink some liquid with your alcohol, otherwise you have a hangover the next day. Boy, I'm gonna pee a lot during the night tonight. Oh, by the way, this Amazing Dad's barbecue sauce. Orgasm in the bottle. Yeah. The honey and rosemary. That's what it is. That's good stuff. Oh, chicken. Oh, especially because that adds a really buttery flavor to the chicken, but you can't use high heat because it'll just burn and crisp off. But oh, that's right. There's no straw in here. But okay, let's see. Rest of the family. Okay, Sarah. Yeah, she's not Sarah. Gloria. Yeah, she's heavily still in religion. And won't even share with me talk to me. But yeah, like I said, the whole if you're confident in your standpoint, then you're happy to share about it. Then, all right, Gloria. Oh, so then there's after Gloria, there's Philip, and he was heavy into religion for a while when he was young, but much younger. He realized it was just bull. So he is been just kind of a quiet back lead, middle of the road guy. Oh, I didn't mention Conrad. Conrad's older than Jeremiah. Not Jeremiah. Philip. Conrad's older than Philip, and he in the past had somewhat I would say used religion to manipulate a little bit, but he obviously, for most of his life, if not all of his life, gave no stock to religion. And then there's Philip. Yep, he was in the Hesed group. He traveled with the Mime Hesed group for Jesus People Church. He even went to the Olympics with them. So, but he quite young became skeptical. Can't let that drop escape. Well, I had it filled to here. And I didn't want to Well, I didn't want to do it. But, oh, my name tag? I was at this Middle East Peace Now group earlier today. And it was awesome. There was the speaker. And let me see if I can see in my downloads. My downloads, Wildwood Claire, she's awesome. She's got a fracking video that's just awesome. Where is... Whatever, let's see. But I was at this Middle East Peace Now movement. And I thought it was really nice that the name tag has both the Palestinian and the Israeli flag. Since pretty much all the Palestinian people that I know of, they support a one-state solution where everybody has equal rights under one state. And that is pretty awesome, since it's pretty much with the settlements that are considered illegal by the United Nations, have made it impossible to have a two-state solution. So actually the Zionists, which the whole thing, the Zionists are like the wild, crazy Republicans in America, not just Minnesota. And so it's sort of like that, where even though it's a small group of people, the Zionists in America, or the Tea Party religious fanatics, wait a minute, Zionists in Israel, the crazy Tea Party people in America, they're basically equal. They have power basically because they're crazy war, let's kill everybody because they're gonna kill us. Oh no, the Muslims. They're basically the same thing. And so the rest of the country, both in Israel and in America, aren't crazy like that. But they still have a lot of power in the country. And one thing nice about the vote no giving, people that I met a guy today that said how he was, definitely on my side, but he didn't think that political type groups don't really do anything. So he just sits back and whatever. But my answer to that is, look at the marriage amendment. Vote no, yeah. I joined it. I was at the very first. I was tipping back too much. I have the camera on a little drum that's I've got my legs around holding on. But the Vote No campaign started with 43% of Minnesotans supporting same-sex marriage rights. And that was in January. And I was at the very first phone bank. That's because I was on their mailing list because they were a humanitarian type group, and I was at meetup.com and I signed up for humanitarian emails. And this came up, and during the winter I have a lot more free time. And I was like, ooh, this is a cause I can get behind. You know, I'm not gay, but come on. This is a travesty in Minnesota and America. We've got to straighten this problem out. And so I was at the very first phone bank they ever held on a Monday night. And I was at least one a week throughout the campaign. The last month, I was at least at 2 a week, most of them 3 a week. And then that was the last month. The last week, I was every single day. One Sunday day, I spent the whole day at a Jewish synagogue. And I did 421 dials. I thought it was funny that it came out to 421. But I had my numbers and I just added them up. And it just came out to 421. Just weird the way that happened. But from the beginning, most of the people in the campaign, now I never had any indication of other people's feelings until after the campaign was over. And we won. But oh, by the way, thank you, Gaxter, for the shout out. You know, you put me 17 subscribers ahead. So I'm 110 now. But the campaign with Minnesotans United, actually, I was after the state fair, because I was talking to a guy, and it wasn't anything he said, but he was so proud of his bigotry and hatred that I looked at him and I said, you know who loved Jesus so much that they actually put God with us on their belt buckles? And I said, the Nazis. And boy, he reacted with, ooh, you're calling me a Nazi, you're calling me a Nazi, oh! But you know what? Right then I knew, Minnesotans United stand is non-confrontational. I thought, oh, I blew it. I always knew or thought my atheistic whatever ideas, whatever would blow it, but this guy freaked out. He filed a police report. And Minnesotans United had to call him and apologize. And they told him that they had banned me from, they had, kicked me out of the group. Well, I was officially banned and kicked out, whatever, but I was still. When the media came in for their little interviews and stuff, I was gone. I was a ghost. That did hurt. That I couldn't be involved in stuff like that and be seen on the local news. That would be kind of cool to have a video, even though it would be probably hard to really isolate and have the video. But when the media came out for a phone bank, I just disappeared. I was gone. When they had pictures taken for the Day of Action or whatever, I don't remember what it was called. I was the one that took the picture because there was a weekend of action or whatever, but I'm trying to think of what it was called. But I was the one that took the picture for the West Metro. Yeah. So that was kind of painful because I do have a little bit of an ego, I wanted to be in there. Cool. But I couldn't be involved in any media type of way. So I was stealth. I was undercover. So I am sad about the fact that what I did made it so that the people that were the heads of Minnesotans United felt they had to just, without even talking to me, ban me and apologize to this guy. Which, I did see a video of the actual call to the guy, and in the video they were like, well, this guy is, I don't remember the exact words, but they're basically messed up. He brought up, oh, yes, I know. There's this gay female that sings this one song that I really love. And because of that, they portrayed themselves as a person that was accepting of the GLBTQ community. But the video that was taken of their phone call showed that they thought this guy was just a joke. He was just one of those average, well, more than average actually, freaky weird people the Christian far right Tea Party nutbags that would be all in favor of Sarah Palin for president, even not just vice president. But yeah, that was. I didn't have many videos on Minnesotans United and the whole fight for the marriage amendment because there were a lot of people that would volunteer that might be, confronted at work or whatever. They might be in the closet or they just didn't want to be on video, so I didn't have much on the whole marriage amendment fight. But we did move. When I started in January, we started at 43% of Minnesotans recognizing same-sex couples as legitimately, they should have marriage rights. And by the election day showed that 42% of Minnesotans supported the LGBT community, with 52%. And then there was that added 1% that didn't vote either way on the amendment. So that came to 53%. Bingo! We won. Oh, I've got the video of the River Place celebration. We had no idea when I was videotaping the different speakers that were supporting. We had no idea until midnight. We were supposed to be out of there by midnight, but it was probably 12:30 before we were out of there. But it was so good. I still have moments where I just tear up with happiness thinking about the results. So for any activist that says that it doesn't matter, we moved from 43% to 52%. Then when you added the I don't care vote, the 2%, the 1%, it brought us up to 53% vote no's on the marriage amendment. Only because of the activists, all the thousands of people that joined me in going to those phone banks and saying, fuck you to the establishment. It's time. It's time to recognize everybody that loves somebody. Actually, that's the thing that really brings me the most joy in my life. It's just thinking about winning that fight. Winning that fight. Now I was involved in Minnesota Break the Bonds long time before. But it does give me joy. It gives me a vision that we will overcome. Did you know that there are more non-Jewish Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists in this world. And that's the fight that as I left Christianity and realized that any group that you cannot criticize anything they do, that is going to become a problem. And my Lutheran pastor in the early 1970s, I remember him getting up at St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church, Pastor Carol Olsatry. It wouldn't be on the internet. It's before that, It was on radio. But I remember him having a sermon about how this secular Zionist movement was the biggest threat to Israel, and how the only thing they care about religion is God's gift of the whole area to the Jewish people. And thinking about, the thing is, America has a history. We came in, all these white honky people, whatever. We stole all the land from the American Indians, and we did. That I think is probably part of the reason why we do accept the fact that the Jewish people are stealing all the land from the Palestinians. They're running a wall right down the middle through a Palestinian community, and then they run the walls. They actually look like, if you look at a map, they're like fingers hanging down. And if you look at the area down by the end of the finger, you'll find a spring where there's a natural spring where it creates life for the whole area. And you'll find that according to the Zionists. See, it's not a Zionist, or it's not a Jewish Palestinian issue. It's a Zionist Palestinian issue. The Zionists use religion, even though they don't care at all about religion. They use religion to establish ownership of the entire area for themselves. And they use war rhetoric, the whole, we have to keep ourselves safe. Yeah, these thousands of rockets from Gaza, yet, I'm trying to think. I think you've got to go 3 years to get as many Jewish deaths. Well, not even as many compared to the very first day of this last attack on Gaza, and they just say, oh, we have to defend ourselves against these thousands of rockets. Yet these thousands of rockets are all homemade rockets. There are a very few that have been smuggled in to Gaza that are, I think, Iranian made, but they can reach much further. But for the almost all of them are these homemade rockets that, for the most part, they land in the desert. You know, like the fireworks almost. You know, they're glorified fireworks, and very few. You know, the Iron Dome is so good. But the Iron Dome is only even looking at intercepting the rockets that are actually going to land in a town, which is very rare. But, they still ended up, was it 5 casualties on the Israeli side? Compared to 150, 160 Palestinians. And the Palestinian deaths were due to rockets from, high-tech American. Thank you, America. You're welcome. I'm not happy with it, but you're welcome. But American weaponry, we just send them a $70 billion. Oh, does that help our budget? No. $70 billion bucks. Boy, what I could do with $70 billion bucks. I think I could make better use of it. But they sent in, American high-tech weaponry. They bombed sports stadiums because of tunnels, smuggling things in. Possibility of Iranian rockets. Very few, but possibility. But most of the stuff going in are things like sewing machines for the last textile mill in Palestine. Today I went to, what is this? Oh, there I am. Where is it? Woo! Okay, I got a Palestinian flag, 3 by 5. Yep. Today, from this. Where'd my name tag go? Okay, it was interesting because that name tag had both Israeli and Jewish flags on it, because Jewish Voice for Peace, I think that's the name of the group, they are interested in But in peace, I bought this today. This was made by actual Palestinians in Palestine. I'm not sure if it's Gaza, but I paid $50 for this, and I'm really proud of it. So this little bag, if you see it, you know that. Now what they did was they said just a donation, whatever you want. And so I got a few things. Let's see what I got. I think this is neat. I'll have to do a video later when I am sober. But it's all in, it's not in English. Oh no, I don't want to rip it. I'll deal with this later. I'll carefully if there's anything really interesting, I'll deal with this later, but this is, I think it's cool if you recognize anything, you go ahead and comment. But I don't know. It's not in English. I don't know. Yeah, oh, I showed you my flag already. But they had, they said just free will, whatever. You just give whatever you want. I got 2 of these. I go to a lot of events, and there are people that don't have anything. It's a little scarf thing. So I'll let people have something to show their support for the Palestinian. Oh, I can't even try to say the word that, that this represents. I'm sorry. But I was at, oh, there it goes again. Oh. I just want to thank Bacardi for this evening. I enjoyed this evening, and I hope you did too. I know. Oh no, this is more than 5 minutes long. Oh, deal with it. But thank you. And I think I'll probably go pee. And I'll go to sleep. And I'll get up several times to pee. I'd rather not have a hangover in the morning. 62 ounces. Lemonade, no alcohol. So, I thank you for all the subscriptions. I understand why the majority of people don't watch through all my videos. So my number of video accounts is low, but big deal. It's not like I'm making money off of this thing. What is it? I can't even open this thing. Wasn't there an opening here? Oh, it was under the flap. Okay. Oh, that's right. I did get a little Palestinian flag. So on doohickey thingy. I got another style thing too. Oh, this is kind of a glitter sticker. And then I got a couple of the flags. Yay! There's another kind of sticker I got somewhere. Where is it? That's another... maybe the first one. But the other one, I think I got one of them. It's got the flag and then a separate Free Palestine, even though it's connected at one end, but it's... I don't see that right now. It's somewhere around here. Maybe it was left in the car. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's see how many I've got. I got three of these. That tastes good. I had a meatloaf. Brandon, he made a awesome meatloaf. Whoa! I'm just now feeling just kind of a overwhelming whoa. I think some of that alcohol just kicked in. Oh, where is my... But it was... I'll just put it over here where it can be seen. Yep. That is the group that hosted the event I was at today, and hopefully tomorrow I will be at a benefit at noon. Depends if I get... whatever. But it was a very entertaining evening for me. I want to thank everyone that subscribed to me. I understand why you don't watch most of my videos and why most people probably aren't even watching right now. I think Oxter and I can't think of anyone that shouted out me before, but I know there's been at least one other shout out. Forgive me because I can't remember much right now. If I shake my head like, ooh, yep. I think Bacardi and the strawberry daiquiri bucket because I just can't get into beer. Why drink something that you can't enjoy the first time? why get used to it? Just have a little Bacardi. So free Bradley Manning, he's up all right there. Free Bradley Manning, he's an American hero in my eyes. If America ever gets over the fact that, oh, you can do something wrong, they will recognize that Bradley Manning is an American hero. He is to be supported in practically anything he does from here on. I would definitely support almost any cause that he would propose. As long as I don't have to give up my ability to float in space as I am right now. I am very floaty. I don't know what else I can say. Yeah. American Christians are really floaty in a bubble that encloses them and supports them in not dealing with reality until they run into a situation where they recognize they are not dealing with reality. They will stay in the religion. I've been asked what can be said to people that are stuck in religion. And I really don't have an answer. It depends on the individual. They have to realize that their religion is not dealing with reality. So there's no silver bullet that will kill religion. But I think religion is choosing to kill itself. When it fights against same-sex marriage, it is doing the rest of the world a favor. Because the LGBTQ community, they were happy in Minnesota to just sit back and relax and slowly build the support. And they were at 43%. And the religious community, ooh, scary, ah! And they proposed the marriage amendment. And then it's like, oh, you on. You're on. Okay, we're gonna do this thing. And build up to 42%. Then when you add on the 1% that didn't vote in the election on the marriage amendment, boom, 43% didn't care. That put us over the top. Thank you, religious people. And like I told several hardline vote yesers during the campaign, I said, That's okay. You can vote yes all you want. That's alright with me. Besides being an LGBTQ supporter, I'm also an atheist. And the fact that you are promoting this whole idea, even if you don't admit or see that it's just plain being hateful and vindictive, your kids will, as soon as they are old enough where they don't rely on you for their college education funds or whatever, as soon as they are not under the fear of being, whether they're financially supported by their parents or not, all of a sudden, boom, they'll be atheists. You know, the Christian community is driving the young to atheism. So I want to thank you for all the new atheists. And when I explained this to a guy that was a butcher, the meat workers in Cub Foods, all of a sudden, he really looked scared. And he was like, "You think so?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." So he either went overboard with his kids after that to really explain to him how reasonable and logical this hatred and bigotry is, or else if he moderated his tone to his kids. Either way, the atheist in me won. And when the atheist wins, the community, whether it's the LGBTQ, the Palestinians, which the voice vote at the DNC, the big hubbub of the voice vote that happened, showed very clearly where the one guy, he asked for the voice vote 3 times because it was even 50-50. And for him to declare a winner, it had to be 60-40. But he could not recognize a 60-40. And then that crazy white woman come over. "Oh, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Just read the teleprompter." Exactly. That told me that I was elected a chair in the Democratic thing. And I was like, fuck you. I'm elected a chair. Why should I do anything, not even one thing, that I'm expected to do as a chair, if they're gonna do what they're gonna do? Read the teleprompter. Why should I do a fucking thing for the Democratic Party? Sure, it's the lesser of two evils, but it's still a lesser of two evils. So fuck you to the Democratic Party. Until you decide to stand up for reality. I don't care about the conventions or the primary elections. Sure, I'll end up voting for the lesser of two evils. Unless I. Well, I hear Jesse Ventura. He will go after the next presidential election as a presidential candidate. But his stipulation is he wants to be involved in the debates. That's the word I was thinking of. I was trying to figure out what the word was. And I fully support Jesse Ventura. He came into Minnesota as third party wild guy. I didn't vote for him, I'm sad to say. But when he was elected, my mom was, oh no, he's gonna legalize prostitution, he's gonna legalize pot. And I was thinking, oh, big whoop. I have never. Now, when I first left Christianity, I did hire a prostitute to take some pictures because I had, what is it? DeviantArt.com. And I wanted to, because nobody's got any credibility unless it's got some nudes, whatever. I did hire a prostitute to do some nudes. But I've never, come on, if I want to have sex, I want to have sex with a person that wants me for me, not for just a buck. So, as far as a prostitute, that's the only thing I've ever hired a prostitute for. Now, I don't remember where I was going with that. But we have to really be open to people, love people, let them live their lives. If they choose to be a prostitute, come on, I've done a lot of gross things in jobs just for the buck. I see it as the same thing there. I see a prostitute as the same type of human being as I was. Now, if I was a woman, yeah, why not? That is a financial option. I'm not into guys at all. There are a couple guys that have expressed interest in me. But I'll tell you, my second wife, I'll tell you, I never let's say I was never able ever to orgasm with my eyes open. I was a good Christian boy. My first marriage, I was married for 16 years. 4 kids. Right away. I didn't wait and having kids. I was pumping that stuff. And then now her diagnosis were borderline personality disorder, schizoaffective, um, severe depression, and one other. But whatever. I divorced her. I remained on, good terms with her and good terms with her family. Which was really surprising with me because her parents are good Christian people. And when they heard my terms that this had to change or else I'd be looking at divorce, they were surprisingly definitely on my side. But then the second marriage, I married because I wanted to have someone to be a partner with me. I married a woman that I saw as someone that was very grounded in the scriptures and strong and, just kept on. But I'll tell you, she, it's not like she really turned me on. It actually, my kids were the ones that promoted my relationship with her. And then after I was married, because she had an idea in her head that she was going to isolate me from my kids and just have me wrapped around her. It was so funny because once when I confronted her on lies and manipulations, she did the goofy little smile and eye squint that you would only see from like a 98-pound hottie. But I'll tell you, she may have been, before I met her, a 98-pound hottie to learn this thing. She was nowhere near a 98-pound hottie at the time. I married her because she was a strong Christian woman that had been in the church as long as I could remember. But when she completely disregarded Christian biblical teaching and used manipulations to try to completely get rid of any relationship with my children in my life, along with the fact that she loved to run up bills on credit cards and ignore the handling of credit cards as the church taught, and I agreed with, all to build up and promote her children, ignoring my children. That I finally woke up to the manipulation that was all involved in the church. And I started looking to YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. And I finally first learned what actually evolution taught. It was just an eye-opener. It's like, what? That's what evolution teaches? That is nothing like the church says evolution teaches. And when I kept seeing snowballing how the church presents reality compared to what reality really is, that is what snowballed me into, I would say, being an anti-theist, because even though religion can promote some good things, it lends credibility to the worst things in the world. You know, for people that don't get involved in religion much, they become atheists. But people that are involved in Christianity and really stake all they are in in Christianity, when they find how deceitful and lying Christians and Christianity is, that's what makes anti-theists. That's why, in my personal opinion, every Christian is actually giving an air of authority to the wacko Christians, like my dad. My dad, who thought it was fine to have sex with their kids. He liked the girls, so my oldest sister, Faith, she experienced the worst part of the relationship. As far as myself, the boys in the family we were either neglected or beaten. So we were happy to get out of the relationship. I was 18 years old. When I was in 6th grade, they had sex education. But because my parents chose to send me across the street to religious education during the time when the rest of my class was getting sex education, we were held in that bubble, not allowed to find out what reality was. And the fact that my dad enjoyed going after my older sister, I really do feel bad for her. I feel bad for the situation where the whole family started ganging up on me because, my mom was being manipulated by my 4 children. The only children in America are grandchildren of hers. And she helped them out a little bit here and there financially. And I used, when my sister Faith attacked me on it and didn't look at the big fake picture that my sister Gloria was, or not Gloria, Patty, she's not my sister-in-law, was using that to attack my kids and making them feel like they couldn't even attend family events anymore. Just constantly. Every little family event. Oh, hello. Yeah. Oh. And then when David, Patty's husband, said, "Oh, so Sarah, how's your pregnancy doing?" And Sarah simply answered her question. And then Patty goes, "Oh, Sarah, it's all got to be about you." The rest of the family were like, "What? She was just answering a question of your husband. Why are you attacking her with saying, 'Oh, it's always got to be about you'?" But no, the family doesn't look at that at all. They're like, "Ooh, we've got to protect Patty. We've got to make her happy. Who cares about what your kids feel, Dan? Who cares that one by one, everyone had completely stopped going to family events? They always had, little excuses. Oh, I've got this or that. But the whole thing was they didn't want to be there when Patty said some bullshit about them. First Naomi stopped. Then Becca stopped. Then Sarah stopped when Patty, I started, that was at the time where I started connecting stuff and becoming atheist. And I was like, wait a minute. What's wrong with this situation? Why is it all about Sarah when David asked? Did David not get permission from you, Patty, to ask about her pregnancy? Is it something to do with the fact that you can't get pregnant? Oh, you don't have any kids, do you? Is that why it's such a touchy subject with you? And then, of course, I started reacting to the family situations before they got to Jeremiah. So he kind of lucked out. But if my mom ever spent a dime on Jeremiah, I know Patty would have been on his little butt. But I thought, if you were really acting like traditional Christians, look at the biblical traditional Christian. They lived in a commune. The Bible says that everything was common among all men. Everything, Ananias and Sapphira. The Bible says that they sold everything they had. And when they got to the church, they only brought half or something like that. And they said, "This is everything we sold everything for." And supposedly God struck the husband dead. And then when the wife came by and confirmed his presentation, then God struck her dead because they had kept half of the money for themselves. Traditional biblical society was based on a commune relationship. You sold everything you had. Now, Christian apologists would say, oh, well, that wasn't required. That was just something looked favorably on. But no, if you look at the Bible, it was required. And if you didn't do it, God killed you. So what if my mom spent some money on helping out her grandkids because the rest of the family, supported David and Patty, good Christians. Now all of a sudden, my mom didn't feel she could support any of her grandkids or kids at all by any kind of help. So now she has diverted herself, and to some extent she has become the cat lady because she takes care of the kitties, because no one can criticize her about spending her money on the kitties. She goes in to PetSmart and spends hundreds of dollars every week buying cat food. She feeds cats that she's got in her house. She's got cat food out in her garage and outside for neighborhood cats that might be hungry. You know. She's got to be careful of that because of the laws of the land and stuff, but she'll bring in cats, she'll have them fixed, she'll have them brought up to she'll take them to the vets and stuff and get things taken care of there. But she no longer feels that she can do anything for the grandkids because, she's been attacked. She's been forced to not even think about that type of situation. It's interesting because she's confided in me that I'm the only person that she feels, besides Philip that lives there with her. She doesn't. Oh, here's the other Free Palestine. Remember I said there was one where it was a flag? It was resting on my chest. There, it's got the flag and the Free Palestine. That's my favorite. But my mom is really confined now. She can't feel like she can, she can confide in me. And I don't contact my brother, his wife, or anybody else. Don't. she can bounce things off me, but she can't call her other. She had 6 kids, and she, besides Philip, she can't share her concerns or what you might want to do to help someone, whatever, because otherwise, the boogeyman of Dave and Patty are going to manifest and stop her. Because what? She's so feeble-minded that she can't make her own decisions. She makes her decision to help somebody, and then she may vent a little bit as to, why that person got into the situation that they needed the help. And she wanted to vent. But because she learned she can't vent to certain people, she can't talk to them. So she'll still vent to me, because even though, I feel that I want to, guys feel like they want to jump in and save the day. But we have to realize that we can't save the day all the time. A lot of the time, people just want to vent. You let them vent. You agree where you agree. Disagree where you disagree. And realize that they have the mental faculties to stop the situation when they reach the point that they really feel it has to end. Before then, they'll vent. And I've heard things I'm not going to comment on, but I realize that even if she feels she needs to vent, it has not reached the point where she's going to stop. True, when it's dealing with my kids, she can't do beep, nothing. If she feels any reason to help, whatever. Birthday presents, Christmas presents, whatever. But other family members, whatever, it's up to her to decide when it reaches the point where she's going to stop. But she can vent, whatever. Well, I have no idea what else to say. Anybody that stayed this long, well, thank you. You either had plenty of time, or you have a life that is pathetic as mine. Whoa, I just feel it rolling over right now. That's the only way I can describe it. It's kind of a rolling over, like, whoa. So, thank you. I appreciate the 110 subscribers. I understand when I only get a few views on a certain subject. Thank you. I love y'all. There's my name tag. It's over here. Over here. Yep. My name really is Dan. What else do I have here? Anything else of interest? I just want to make sure everything's far enough over I don't wreck it as I sleep, because I'm gonna go pee. Not in my little jug. I mean in the toilet. Just across the hall. Nice and handy. So all I gotta do is... Oh, I already turned the screen off. Just turn. I think I got it turned off. Last time I did that, I couldn't find the mouse for a little while. Yep, the mouse is off. So I don't have to worry about the computer. Anything else I want to say? Keep up the good fight on the same-sex marriage across America. There is a petition at HRC, Human Rights Coalition, for Americans that support equal marriage rights for same-sex couples. You know, for heterosexuals that are, point out that, hey, just think, what if 10% of American males are bisexual? Just think about it. If those guys were allowed to marry guys, that would leave 10% of females open, unattached. That increases the spectrum of women available for heterosexual males like me to be able to look as marriage partners. So just think. So if guys were able to marry guys, then even though, true, there will be some gals marrying other gals, it's like today I was at a birthday party. There was a gal there at the birthday party that's been in a lesbian relationship with another gal that I know. But now she's with a guy, pregnant with his baby. So the fact that, obviously she was bisexual instead of lesbian. And I feel bad for her partner. But her partner has moved on also. But so that's working out. But the thing is, if bisexual females or males are allowed to marry guys when they meet a guy that lines up with everything they want to marry in, that still lessens the number of males looking for females to marry. Because if a bisexual guy can only marry a girl, that does limit the number of women available for the heterosexual community to have in the possible marriage partners group. Eee, rock and roll. But so come on, even if you don't care about same-sex marriage rights, you've got to recognize that it will open up opportunities to you. If the guys that are bisexual can only marry females, that does limit the pool of options for the heterosexual guys. Come on. You got to recognize that, even if you don't recognize the fact that when two guys or two gals find partners that complements them so completely that they want to form a marriage, it's nothing but win for everybody. If you're a gal, the gals that, if you're a heterosexual gal, the gal, well, even if you're a homosexual gal, whatever, if you can marry whoever you love, it opens up possibilities. Then, what if the guy or girl that you fall in love with, no matter what you are, what if, if they could marry whoever they like, whoever they love, it just makes it so that you have a better chance of hooking up with the person that complements you completely. In Christianity, I looked at, when I was younger, the first wife is just like, I really, the idea of same-sex couples was completely foreign to me. I really didn't know they existed. They were like a ghost idea that was supposedly out there somewhere. But because of the whole bubble that I was in, it was like they weren't real. They were maybe out there somewhere, but not really. So I just want to thank all the same-sex couples out there and the people that are still struggling with that. I know a guy that is so, he is definitely gay. But because of religion, he is so bound up. It is painful to talk to him, to be around him. he will admit to having same-sex attraction. But he claims that he learned that that was because he didn't have a good relationship with his father. Now, in my situation, now, of 6 kids, no one is attracted to the same sex yet. Okay, Christianity teaches that love is like a river that flows. And if it hits a roadblock such as sexual abuse or other things, it can be diverted to an unnatural course. Let's look at my sister Faith. She was the object of the abuse in my family. She still liked guys. What's wrong with her? According to Christianity, she should be lesbian. Then, my brother David. Now, my brother David and my brother Philip, when my dad died, they found out a week later, or 2 weeks later, after he died, that he had died. And they went and peed on his gravesite. Because if my dad wasn't beating us for violating some minor infraction, he was ignoring us. None of us had any kind of good relationship with my father. When I heard my dad was going to die, I said, yes, all right, thank you. Please tell me when his funeral is. But I demand that it be an open casket because I plan on peeing on him in his casket before he's buried. Now, because I had zero good relationship with my dad, and my dad, the only thing I could remember of him was when he wasn't ignoring us, he was beating us for violating some minor thing. You know? It was, we did not respect my dad in any way at all. We feared him, but we didn't respect him because he'd spank. I remember him having every one of 6 kids in line at the bathroom because he liked to do the bare butt spanking. Now since I know that he was interested in my older sister, I wonder what kind of spanking that involved, but I really don't care to think about that. But he loved to spank us kids. We didn't, we didn't respect him at all. We feared him. Then my parents divorced. 4 hours every weekend. We'd be at his place. He'd read his newspaper. And we'd play even though we were 16, 17, 18 years old. He'd still have the same Lincoln Logs for us to play with. That's what he expected us to play with, to entertain ourselves for the 3 hours. I remember the only time, when Christmas or birthdays came around, you always knew whatever Billy Graham Association was giving away free as a book, that's what you got for your Christmas present. But on my 16th birthday, I was like, hey, this box is different. It is a game. I opened that game. I was just so excited. The box right on the front said for ages 6 to 10. I was 16. My first thought was, you're not supposed to add those two together. That's a range you're supposed to deal in. You're not supposed to add them together. I gave that game to my youngest brother, Philip. He's the only one that cared about that game. I ended up playing that game a few times with him. Probably quite a bit. But I remember playing it with him, not because I cared about the game. It was called Stay Alive. And it was a platform that you put these plastic pieces in. And then as you played the game, it had something that would knock off little plastic pieces here and there. And you were supposed to, at the beginning of the game, place your player at a certain place on it. And it was like a glass, or not glass, ice block area. And when little blocks here and there in the game were eliminated because of sliding little plastic doohickeys and whatever, whoever had placed their plastic identity marker, whatever it was, wherever you had placed it, if you were the last one standing, instead of that area collapsing because of no support, then you won the game. Called Stay Alive. I believe the age, has definitely been expanded just for a marketing tool, whatever. But back when it first came out, it was ages 6 to 10. And at 16, for some reason, I had no reason to care about that game. Gave it to my younger brother. He liked it, so I played it to entertain him. But, another thing is my dad only allowed one TV show every week. With 6 kids, they really had no plan on fairly dividing that amongst. So I do feel bad for my 2 sisters compared to the 4 brothers. I'm sure that we definitely had an advantage with 4 of us compared to 2. Even though in their mind they were trying to be as fair as possible. I do feel bad for my sisters not having as much opportunity to watch the shows they want. Definitely, I never incorporated that in my child rearing. I had it much more open because, as far as being a kid, I was happy to watch anything. When when my dad was out of the house, we would watch whatever was on TV. We didn't care. It was on TV. Until my dad found out that the TV was going on when he left the house. And then he started bringing the cord from the TV. Now, we weren't devious enough to think of getting another cord, but I wish we had. But so we ended up playing outside. And that's not all that bad, but yeah. Thanks, Agent of Doubt, for all. I won a few contests from him. Mainly for my videos supporting Planned Parenthood. We have a big march here in Minnesota where the number of people in support of Planned Parenthood are definitely as much as the supporters of the Christian right that want to get rid of Planned Parenthood. So I've gotten a couple prizes from Agent of Doubt. The chocolate was quite tasty. Thank you. I enjoyed that. And as my last unboxing video of the Agent of Doubt, whatever, I did allow my grandkids to enjoy. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of, besides being a drunk answer to questions, I am tired. I've got my camera sitting on a little drum thing between my knees. But yeah, when I first left Christianity, I did move to, support the Palestinians. That was really the first cause that presented itself to me. And I was open to others, and I'm sure there were other minor causes and stuff, but the next big thing was the marriage amendment. And I want to thank all the fundamentalist Christian fucktards that supported atheism by actually following Christianity. So thank you. You are the future of atheism and anti-theism. Yes, I would like to completely annihilate religious beliefs, mainly because they are just so messed up. And the more faithful to these religious beliefs, the more you are creating anti-theists amongst your own community, whether it be Christian, Muslim, whatever. The whole Buddhist community has been somewhat, you know, oh, they're peaceful, loving, whatever. But with the, was it Meringue or whatever? Where they have become vicious. So even the, ooh, calm, peaceful Buddhists, you're burying yourselves. Thank you. Even though some of the things that you might say, just like the crazy wacko, oh, what is this?